Welcome. Here we go. This is the last activity we're going to do together, learning computer science this time around. We are at Chapter 6, Lists and Loops. Great for dealing with data, especially in engineering, right? Lots of data in engineering, can be lots of data in architecture. Maybe you'll use it, maybe you won't, but now you've learned a whole lot about programming, and you can put this on your resume, say, I know some intro Python programming, and employers will love it because it is a skill that is growing everywhere. So even if you won't use it, still put it on your resume and appreciate that you have a new skill that other people don't have. So this activity is Burger Castle. Now you're not going to be coding burger menus or anything like that, but it's the skills you get out of it that matters. But at least you can appreciate what the online menus or the computer menus there are at the restaurant, what those do, what's going on behind the screen. So you at this point have learned about lists and tuples. I'll go over the difference between those again, that contain multiple data values under variable name, and also for loops and while loops. That gets the computer to loop and redo actions as many times as necessary, saving you a lot of time and a lot of work. That's really good when you have long lists of data. When I was in college, I had an Excel sheet, and I was sorting through data. It was about 300 lines long, and maybe 20 columns. So what's 20 times 300? That's so I had about 6,000 data points that I had to sort through and make decisions about. Was I going to do that on my own? Absolutely not. That's why I used programs like this to get through the data and make the decisions about the data for me. So here we go. We are coding for Burger Castle menu, and this is something that it's going to look like. It's going to welcome us. We're going to show the menu. We're going to ask the user, the customer, to put in their order. We'll scold them for asking for something that we don't sell. And then, of course, you don't want the program to loop and loop forever, asking the customer for more and more food. So there is a way to quit. And then an order summary. Cool. So this one's a bit lengthy. So what we're going to do is I'll give you a suggestion as to where to stop. We'll get through 1 through 3's pretty simple, straightforward. Similar 4, 5, and then we got the while loop. That'll take a little bit. So after number 9, I'd say if you want to take a break and continue later on, that this is probably a good place to take a break. And then we'll go over 10 through 15. We'll finish all of this in this video, of course. And throughout, you can rewind, skip ahead. If you don't want to listen to me, or you're getting it, or you didn't quite get something, you can skip back and listen to me again. So let's get to it. Let's see. So first of all, write your program by carefully following the steps listed below for the best grade. Okay, start with a comment that contains your student name. All right, here we go. The hashtag symbol Daniel Levinson. We always put some comments in there describing what our code is about. This isn't part of the requirements, but it's good practice anyway. So what's our program going to do? Ask or print a list of valid food items and ask user to I'll continue here, ask user to input desired items, then it prints out user's order. Cool, good description, decent description. That's number 1. You should do this anyway. Initialize a tuple named valid orders with these contents. This tuple contains the allowed strings that a customer can type to add an order to the order. Okay, so quick review as to what the difference is between lists and tuples. So yeah, it's asking about valid orders. Just as a temporary, I'm going to actually make two variables: valid orders list, valid orders tuple, and we'll see what the pretty much what the big difference is here. So lists use square brackets like these. Tuples use the parentheses, and you can put data into both of these. Just like that, copy and paste. Don't need to type it all out yourself. And so you get both of these just fine, and you can print both of them. And oh, this is great. Now I don't have to type it out twice or type it out a million times. It kind of comes up for me. And I will, there we go. Whoops, oh no, I messed up. Tuple. Okay, so you can print them. There they are. You can even print, if you remember, different data points at each index. So keep in mind, an index is the position of the data. So, and Python always starts with 0 rather than 1. So burger in both of these has an index of 0, has position 0. Fries has an index or position of 1, and so on. So we can say, I want you to print out the 0, 1, 2, the second position index. So I'm going to put a 2 in here. Let's do it for both of them. And you should only see salad be printed. There you go. Now this is where things get a little bit different. So both of those are the same. The key difference is that lists you can change, tuples you cannot change later on with code. So if I wanted to, see, I'm going to take away the print here. See, I can now append or add to this. So valid orders list dot append, that's how you add stuff to the end of a list. I want to add in pizza, for example. And let's actually print out this list here. See what happens. Cool, look, so we got that same list, but now we've added pizza to the end of that list. Now, if I did this with the tuple, oh, whoops, I keep doing that lately. Now, if I did this with the tuple instead, and I tried this, see what happens. Run. Oh, yeah, tuple object has no attribute append, meaning you can't change this tuple. Okay, this, as defined up here, has to stay. You can add more data points like right up here, but you can't do anything special in the code below. So that's the main point. So they want you to not be able, as you go through more code and you write code, they want you to not be able to add anything to these lists. That might cause issues if you do. So we are defining a tuple, which we have right here. So I'm going to delete this line. And we don't need that. That tuple was just, that tuple name is just there to differentiate. So we have valid orders, these food items, so that's what the user should be typing in. And then we have the item descriptions. So it seems that the item descriptions, this is also going to be a tuple. Those are like the exact names of the food items that Burger, whatever it is, Burger Castle has. So I'm going to do the same thing, just copy and paste. Cool. And what they want you to notice here is that the burgers are lined up in the same position or index. Burger, half-pound burger is both position or index 0. Fries, large fries is index 1, position 1, and so on. And that should come in useful later as what's going to happen is that the user is going to say, oh, I want a burger and salad. And then what the computer will print or process is that, oh, the user wants a half-pound burger, and it'll say, print half-pound burger, and also order a side salad. And that will come easier when everything's nice and lined up. That's the reasoning behind what they're doing here. So that is 1, 2, and 3. So just defining those lists ready to go. Now we're going to number 4, initialize an empty list named order. So that's going to be the user's order. Order is equal to, and an empty list, remember, list has square brackets. So we have square brackets, and we're not actually going to put anything in here. It's completely empty because when we start, there is no order. But we want the list to be available, ready to go when the user starts adding orders that they want, and we'll put it inside that list. So we did that. Okay, now we're going to print 3 lines. Print, oh, I'm just going to copy and paste this. Don't need to reprint everything. Print this. This I'm going to do myself. Print menu. Oh, and the colon. Now you might remember sometime there's 2 ways to add. You could add strings together. You can add with the plus sign. I'll show both ways. If you, let's just show this. So I want to do valid orders. See what happens here. Now this actually gets upset if you try to add the tuple. I'm not exactly sure why, but I do know that if we add turn, it's not a string, if we turn this list into a set of strings, then it will print. Let's run it. Yeah, there you go, now it works. You could also, probably the easier way is to, well, where is it? Is to put in a comma instead, and you wouldn't even need this string as far as I'm aware. Yeah, so they both come out the same. The only difference is you can put a space there. So either one works. Probably easier to do the second one in all honesty. So I'll keep that one. Then finally, please enter your order, and keep in mind that as the user is typing in their order, they can be typing in one of these burger, fries, salad, soda, milkshake. They might type in something like pizza, which isn't on the list, and we're going to deal with that. Or they can press enter or type in quit and enter so that the computer stops asking for what they want. So we'll also print this line right here. Cool. There we go, new line. All right. So checkpoint, if you run the program now, you should see the first 3 lines displayed as shown. Let's do it. Let's print. Yep, all came up, no errors. Now, I said maybe you could stop later, but if you want to take a break now would be a good time since we have this checkpoint. But if you want to continue, let's keep going. On to the while loop. So we did lists and tuples. Now we're going to make a while loop. So we want the computer to ask the customer what item they want over and over and over again. And we don't want to put in, input and then input again and just do it as many times as we think. We want the computer to do it as many times as is necessary and stop when it's time to stop. So what we're going to do, let's start with asking, here we go, number 6, prompting the user with an input, which we've used most of the activities. Inputs. So ask them for an input, and we'll say, hey, enter an item. So please do that. But now we do have to store the results in some variable. If you just ask the user to enter an item and then they type in burger, the computer's not going to store it anywhere. It's just going to be like, okay, the user said burger. What am I supposed to do with it? So you do have to say, hey, let's put that in a variable, and that the activity is asking us to use the word item. So we got that. Now this is where it gets really fun. Now we start the while loop. So what we want the computer to do is continue asking the customer what they want, unless they either put this empty, the empty string, which is just pressing enter, or they type in quit and enter. So as long as it's not, keyword not, one of those two, the computer should keep looping and asking. So let's say while, and then not one of these things, while it's not, what is it, item, while item is not just an enter or nothing, or item is not quit, and colon, then we're gonna do, then you should do one of these things. So if the user types in burger, well, it's not space, so it checks. It's not enter and it's not quit. Okay, so I'm gonna do the next line, whatever is being, whatever I need to do. If the user puts in enter, while not this, oh, well, it was this. So whatever's in these next few lines here under the while in that block, it's just gonna skip because, okay, I need to stop now. So we'll see that again as we go on. So let's say we passed the first test. The user has not put in an enter or quit. What's going to happen? Well, one of two things is going to happen. Either the user has put in something that is in this valid orders list right here, or they put in nonsense or something that's not on the list. So let's start with this. If they did put something in the list, if item, this is how we check. If that item that the user put is in valid orders, that list, oh, orange right there. If it's in there, then what we're going to do is we're going to add that item to the order list, the user's order list. So all we need to do is type in order dot append item. So we're taking that list order, we're adding or appending this item. If it's burgers or burger, the computer will take burger and put it in the order list. It will no longer be an empty list. It'll actually be order equals, and there'll be burgers in there. Okay, so that's that option. If not, and we only have one other option here, in any other case, if it's not in there, we're going to say else. Otherwise, say, that's what is going on here. If it's not, we'll say, sorry, we don't sell whatever that item is. So print, sorry, we don't sell plus item. And keep in mind, this is the input's a string, so we don't have to turn item into a string. So one of those is going to happen. And once that happens, we need to ask the user their next item. So we have to ask this question again. So let's say they put in burger the first time. And then, okay, it's not even, and then the computer says, well, burger is not enter or quit. So we're going to go to these conditional statements. Is burger in valid orders? Yes. Okay, we're going to add this to the list. And then since this worked, we can skip over else. And we're going to ask again. Okay, what's your next input? Okay, pizza. The user said pizza. Okay, let's go back up to this line 18, the while. Pizza is not enter and it's not quit. So we're going to keep going. Okay, let's start with this. Is pizza in valid orders? Nope. Oh, okay. So then we'll do the else statement, which is print, sorry, we don't sell pizza. Okay. And it's going to, shouldn't be doing that. And it'll keep doing that again and again, that loop. See, and you can do this infinitely many times if you wanted to. And it's only like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines of code just doing looping again and again and again. It's beautiful. Okay, so what happens? Now the user says quit. So it goes up here. While it's not either of these, oh, but the user did put in quit. That means we need to stop this loop because they said quit. So this is while, yeah, if this is quit, because it is one of these, we need to, we're done with this. So we're gonna leave the while loop and we're gonna do the next thing that's asked. And that brings us, yeah, we got to step 9, checkpoint. If you run program now, you should be able to successfully enter any valid item on the menu and should receive the correct error message if you enter an item that is not on the menu. So let's go through this checkpoint. And I said at this point, if you want to take a break, if you've been working hard and following along, now would be a good time for a break. But here's what I'm going to do before we get going to the last segment. I'm going to ask us to print the order list, and we're going to just experiment with the code that we have right now. So click run. No error messages so far, so it looks like we're all good. Let's say I want a burger, I want a milkshake, and I want a salad. Oh, what happened there? I'm going to try it one more time. Maybe I might have pressed enter too many times. So again, I want a burger, a milkshake. What's going on here? Oh, my computer's just slow. A salad, and oh, let's say do we have ice cream? Well, ice cream's not on the list, so it should say, sorry, we don't sell ice cream. Yep, there we go. And then if I press quit or just enter, I'll type in quit, should, ooh, something didn't go right there. I typed in quit and it says, sorry, we don't sell quit. So this is good. I think I know why. I think because the not here only applies to the first statement. While it's not an enter, and do this, or yeah, the not doesn't apply here. So I can actually, what's going on here? Oh, I have to press stop. That's why. Okay, I can actually put all this in parentheses. Now the not applies, and now if I click run, I'll try this one more time, burger, and quit. And then we can actually, there we go, ended, and we see that those items were added to the order list. And we didn't have to do that ourselves. We got the computer to do that. So at this point, yes, if you want to take a break, go ahead. But if you want to keep going, and you should be keep going, at least after your break. Now we've done the while loop. Now we need to print the user's order. So, and this is what we saw. Next, after the while loop, add some print statements to display a blank line. So you see here, there's a blank line here. When I put in a blank line, say I want to start print, this line 24, that doesn't register as a blank line that's going to be printed. You actually have to say, oh, I want a blank line, something like that. So that will come out as a blank line. And then we need to print, oh, did I do that capital? There we go. We need to print order complete. You are having, all right, and then we're going to see what the user is having. So finally, you need to write a for loop over each of the items in the order list, find the index value of that item in the valid orders tuple, and then read and print the matching description of that item from the item descriptions tuple. So this is a bit of a mouthful because we're working with we're working with one list and 2 tuples. Wow. So let's go ahead and start the for loop. So the for loop, what it does is it's going to check, write an example. Let's say we have a list, right? Let's say we have burger, milkshake, and salad. being healthy. Let's say that's the list that we're working with. And I have it in the with the pound hashtag sign just so that the computer, if I forgot to delete it, the computer's not going to try to do something with it and get all upset and give us an error message. So what the for loop will do is it's going to go through each item in this list. It's going to start with burger. So I'm going to start with burger, and I'm going to check what position is burger in the valid orders list or valid orders tuple. Oh, well, it's number 0. Remember, 0 is the first position. Then we're going to print, because it's number 0 or index 0, we're going to print index 0 of item descriptions. That's a lot. And then it will do it again. Okay, so we did the first item, and we're going to do the second item, which index is milkshake. It's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, then we're going to print index 4 of item descriptions, and it does that for each item. So we don't have to ask it to do that for each item ourselves. We get the computer to go through the loop. So again, we're eliminating all the work that we have to do. We're getting the computer to do all the work. Imagine you trying to do this. Like, yeah, coding this takes time, but imagine trying to do this all yourself. This would take even longer. So let's go ahead and make a for loop. So for, now what they're saying, we're starting a for loop, and the loop variable name is item. So for each item, for item in order, colon. So for each item that we see in this order list, whatever it may be, this is just an example. This is what we're going to do. We're going to use the index function to search the valid orders tuple for the numeric index of each item and store that number in the index variable. Now, you could be smarter and probably use a better name. Like, there's too many index words all over the place, but we're going to go with the requirements here. So the index is going to be, and this is how you find the index, the position of whatever item this is. So burger, we're going to say, I want you to look in valid orders. That's the name, right? Yeah, I want you to look in valid orders. Dot index means I want you to find the index or the position of valid orders in which this item is. So if it's burger, I want you to find the index in valid orders. Well, there it is. And then you get position, and then the output of this is 0 because this is position 0. So 0 is stored in the variable index. Then, so after we get that index number, we're almost there, just 3 more. Read the data at the index, so in our example, position 0, from the item descriptions tuple and store it in the variable named description. So we have a variable called description. And now we're going to go to the item description tuple. There it is. And whatever it is, I want the 0, or oh, sorry, we want index. I got all caught up in my example. Whatever that index is, I want you to take that index of that list or this tuple and store it in description. So if, for example, milkshake, for milkshake, it would be index 4 in this one, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to store 4 in there, and then for description, we're going to take the 4th position of item descriptions and store that in the variable description. Well, that's going to end up being chocolate shake. It's a lot to wrap your head around. If your brain's hurting, that's okay. That's okay. You're learning this for the first time. You get used to it. And you're giving yourself a good mental workout. You're going to be able to do way harder stuff than this in your life. If you're not going to use this, at least your brain's stronger and capable of doing doing much more. But that's that. Then finally, print, 2 print statements. Oh, well, here, print, not the end of the loop yet, print description. All right. So after, let's say, we have the example here, burger, it does that and it prints out, it'll end up printing out half-pound burger. And it does that again. Okay, we have another item, milkshake. Okay, we're gonna go through this process and print out chocolate shake. And oh, we got one more, we got salad. Okay, where's salad? Salad is 0, 1, 2, 3. So we're gonna go to item descriptions, look at 0, 1, 2, sorry, 0, 1, 2, look at position 2, 0, 1, 2, side salad. Okay, we'll print side salad. Then go again, 4 item, oh, we're done. We don't have another item, so we're gonna stop now and go to whatever's next. And that is printing this. Printing, thanks for visiting Burger Castle. So we have 35 lines. Now I also like to put little spaces in here, so it's really less, helps me with organization. That's it, that's the whole thing. Let's run through it. You should do this as well. And you shouldn't see any error messages. You should see everything printing out. And if you enter something and you do get an error message, that means you or I messed up somewhere. So we're gonna check this out. So what do we want? Let's say, oh, what's the list? Oh, it's right here. That's why we printed it to the screen, right? Let's say I want a soda and a salad and a milkshake, and I also want some ketchup. Ketchup. Oh, they don't sell ketchup. And I also want, what do I like to eat? Ice cream again. Oh, I don't have ice cream. Okay, then I'm done. And then it prints. It went really fast. That's my entering. We don't have this. Order complete. You are having diet root beer, side salad, chocolate shake. Thanks for visiting Burger Castle. And that's the end of it. That is how that works. So that brings us to the end. The activity itself, if you're working on CompuScholar, you're going to the activity or the system is going to check these cases for you, and if some problem comes up, then you won't get the points. If it all works out, you'll get the points. So that's that. Now that's the end of what I'm asking for you to do. But this course is free. This is a free resource for you right now, and it doesn't last forever. It will get locked soon, but there are more chapters, and you know what? I can even open these all up for you. We got numeric and date functions, that's fine. Working with strings, this one right here, functions, that is also one of the more useful. So lists and loops, also functions are super, making your own functions. So yeah, you've done print. Print's been the big one, right? I can't think of any other. And then you got stuff like index and append that we used, but you can make your own functions. So this is super, super useful. After that, it gets a little bit more advanced. But hey, the more advanced you get, the more you can put on your resume, the more qualified you'll be. And then we also got some fun projects on here as well. So you're seeing me in real time opening all this up for you. So that's all. Please let me know if you have any questions. And I hope you've enjoyed this series. Keep going. Appreciate all that you learn. Keep working, even if you're not going to use stuff in your careers. There's use to this stuff in some way. So thank you.